that word. Volume is what gave birth to sweatshops. Volume is what makes fast fashion so profitable. Volume is what's stuffing our closets. Volume is what's rotting in our landfill. So for me, the biggest problem of all, the whole from, the worker in Bangladesh to the closet, in London or New York, is volume, and, into the landfills. And that's because they've been able to offshore and ramp up volume and work everyone to death like they did in the old Manchester days, and employ children and have forced overtime and pay half of a living wage in factories that do not meet very basic safety standards, as we saw with Rana Plaza. And all of this to make more and more money. And what Bert was saying earlier about the canceling of the orders, many of these brands would spin, and it was total PR spin, saying we are sourcing in these countries and moving everything offshore where we pay a fraction of what we used to pay, because we're lifting these workers out of poverty and creating good jobs and boosting their economy. But as soon as the going got tough, they canceled their orders. And not only did they cancel their orders, they refused to pay and accept the orders that were already done. And so there's containers of clothes sitting on the docks in Southeast Asia, not shipping out of Bangladesh, Cambodia, Myanmar, Vietnam, just sitting there, moldering. And so that just proved that, in fact, the reason that they sourced in these places was because it was a profit machine. And it was a profit machine because there is no oversight, there is no regulation. They didn't have to pay vacation. They didn't have to pay overtime. They didn't have to pay health care. They didn't have to pay unions. They fight against unions. They didn't have to pay people a decent wage. They didn't have to, when I was in Bangladesh, they were paying them $68 a month. I think it's up to $95 a month. It's still half of a living wage, which is what you need to house, clothe, and feed your family. That's what a New York executive who took the decision to cancel those orders spends on lunch.